Hello. In this video, I'd like to talk a little bit about a question that coaches often get asked, and that is, what can you best do to help a friend or a family member who seems to be in need but doesn't yet know how to help or get themselves out of their own situation? And there are many answers to this, but in this video I want to talk about four main areas, four main issues which could assist you if you're in this predicament of having to watch somebody else who you care about or who you love going through a problem. And the first point is that the most effective help is often given to somebody who has asked for it. I know it sounds very harsh, but if they haven't asked for it, sometimes your very best option can be to do nothing and to wait until they do ask. What's the reason for this? Now, some people may disagree with me on this, but having seen what happens when people do rush in with lots of good intentions, really wanting to help, but finding that their help is turned away, if help is given at the wrong time, there can be many unexpected repercussions and ramifications. If a person hasn't asked for your help, they may actually resent the fact that you've given it. They may still feel able to cope for reasons that you don't or can't understand, and that may spoil your friendship or your family relationship. If you offer help when they haven't asked, and for some reason that help backfires, down the line it transpires that any advice you gave was wrong, the person will blame you even more. Well, then they won't necessarily blame you, but they're likely to blame you even more for having given them what they consider to be the wrong advice or the wrong help. The third reason for that is that if you offer help when it hasn't been asked for, you're actually taking away somebody's autonomy, somebody's freedom of choice. So although it may be difficult to stand by and watch somebody in a situation that's tricky for them, painful for them, if you possibly can, waiting until they ask for your help is a great thing to do. And even though it feels like doing nothing, it's actually very powerful. Now, of course, there may be some situations in which that isn't practicable, in which case it may be a matter of life and death. I don't know your specific situation, so please as ever, use your own judgment on this, because only you know your own situation. I'm just counselling caution when it comes to offering help, giving help that hasn't been asked for. The other matter that people don't think about very often when they're watching somebody else who's in a difficult predicament is their own emotional reaction. Sometimes people are, and this may very well be you, genuinely coming from a position of, I want to help this person, I hate seeing their distress, and maybe if they've asked for your help, you can give your own assistance. However, very few of us, including me, come to any situation with what you might call a clean record emotionally. Usually, or quite often, we can be drawn into a friend situation because we have our own baggage attached to it. Perhaps we want to help them because we've been in a similar situation before, but if we do so, we must be careful to know that their situation is not the same as the situation that we were in, that you were in, that I was in, and to be very clear that it's their own situation and not to bring in their own baggage. Sometimes, of course, you can have still emotional issues relating to the kind of situation. If you're helping someone in a tricky relationship with someone else, for example, it's very tempting to ascribe to their partner, to the person who's causing them the problems, something that might have occurred for you in a previous unhappy relationship. So be very clear about where your own stuff ends and where their stuff begins. The third thing probably sounds and is meant to be much more encouraging, and that is that whether or not they ask for your help, whether or not your own stuff is part of the picture and attracting you into the situation in the first place, you can always hold a vision of how things might turn out perfectly for that person, and keep holding that vision, however unlikely it seems. Keep imagining what it would be like to meet your friend, your family member, when things were fabulous for them, to have things going really well for that person. Whether or not you choose to share this vision with the person is up to you. And bear in mind more than anything else that the person who needs the vision for their own life most is the person you're trying to help. And of course their idea of their perfect life may be very different. And at the end of the day, that's the most important thing. But if for some reason they are in no position to be able right now to frame where they'd like to be, holding that vision, even if you say nothing, even if it's just in your heart, can help you and it can help them. The final point is that if all else fails, there's one question which can bring you great comfort and maybe of help to them at some point down the line. And that is, what is this situation teaching them that they might not be able to learn in any other way? For example, if somebody is going through some kind of radical life change where they might have had, say, a huge amount of money, prestige or status, and suddenly they're left with very little, it may be very hard to watch somebody going through that and not to be able to help them. However, that situation might be teaching them a great many things. Now, once again, they are really the person who will know either now or in the future what they're getting from that situation. But just from the outside, you might be able to hazard an educated guess. Perhaps, for example, by being in that situation, they are learning how to be more creative, whereas before they might have spent their way out of trouble. They might be discerning for the first time who their real friends are. They might be discovering things that they actually prefer to do, which are completely different to those which they were doing simply because it gave them money or status or power, whatever it was in their old life. Now that's just an example, but I'm sure you can take this and apply the same principle to friends and family members in your own life who you may feel need your help. And whether or not they're ready for help or ever ask for help, just asking the question, what is this situation teaching them that they might not be able to learn in any other way, or that they might not be able to learn so quickly or effectively in any other way? It can help a lot, because it can help you to be able to take crucial steps back from the situation, so that come the time when perhaps they do ask for your help, or when they ask for practical help rather than the kind of emotional help you might want to have given them, you'll be ready, because you'll be able to get some objectivity from asking the question, what is this situation teaching them? What is this situation helping them to learn? And of course, that's a question that you can always use in your own life when the going gets tough, turning it around as, what is this situation teaching me that I wouldn't be able to learn, or wouldn't be able to learn so efficiently in any other way? I hope this helps. I'm Claire Walker from selfworks.net. Thank you for listening, and until next time, goodbye.